Alright, hey guys, this is my Super Bowl reaction video. I watched the whole game, as did probably most of you, and there's a few things that I wanted to just talk about quickly. To start off, I am a Cowboys fan and a converted Broncos fan because I live in Colorado and Peyton Manning went here, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. And to start off the playoffs, in the second round of the playoffs, Broncos' first game, the Ravens beat the Broncos in one of the probably the craziest comebacks of all time. In that, I was there at that game, watching it in the below freezing, below zero temperatures. It was a real tough game to watch. At the end, in the beginning and in the middle, and it was a real exciting game. I thought Joe Flacco, as Skip Bayless always says, Joe Fluco. I thought he kind of just threw the ball up there, got lucky a few times. Ravens pulled it out kind of in lucky fashion, didn't think they deserved the win. They continued to play that way, though. I mean, the whole playoffs against the Colts, against the Broncos, and against the Patriots, and then against the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Flacco continued to play great. The receivers played great. The defense was good enough. I wouldn't say great. Um, on the other side, the 49ers, obviously as a Cowboys fan, they weren't even in. My Super Bowl pick before the playoffs started was the Seahawks. They went out quickly to the Falcons in kind of another crazy game in there. The 49ers get to the Super Bowl though. I picked them to win. I didn't think that they would lose to the Ravens, but I think Ray Lewis really helped out the Ravens in a lot of ways other than just being a linebacker. He was definitely an inspiration and a motivator on that team. And although I'm not a huge Ray Lewis fan, I have to congratulate him on a great career as far as his playing ability is concerned, winning 2 rings with the Ravens. And I can't knock his playing ability. I'm not going to comment on his personal side of things. I don't think that needs to be talked about here. To talk about the game, I don't even know how to start. I was rooting for the 49ers. It started out terrible for them. And I mean, they went down early. There was not much to talk about. I mean, we all know what happened, and it was really lopsided early on. We got later on in the game, the after Jacoby Jones kickoff return touchdown, 28-6. At that point, I thought the game was over. I mean, the momentum was totally in the Ravens' direction. There was nothing the 49ers were doing right. The power goes out. Everybody's like, yeah, that's the motivational turn for the 49ers. That probably did play a part in it. Got them a chance to calm down. They come back into the game, get a few quick scores, and it's all of a sudden it's 28-20. And by the time it got to the end of the game, this is the only problem that I really had with the game. Late in the game, um, the 49ers get into position to score. Frank Gore rips off that huge run to get to the 5-yard line, and the 49ers have first and goal at the 5 with about 2 minutes to play. They don't do anything productive. It's a couple of play calls I didn't really agree with. I guess they weren't very good, and then um, they got fourth and goal from the 5-yard line. This is where I really started to get angry at the game. The play was just a quick. It was designed to be a quick fade. I'm guessing to Crabtree in the right side of the end zone. I don't know if that was the original design or just kind of a makeshift winging it because of things that happened. There was a big blitz. Kaepernick had a lot of pressure in his face, but he just lobbed it up there. And I understand holding defensively, pass interference inside of 5 yards, whatever that rule. The corner was holding him inside the end zone for a good 2 or 3 yards inside the end zone. They had it at the 5, so it wasn't inside of 5 yards. And people can say that it wasn't catchable, that he didn't really hold him, that they were both fighting for the ball. In the end, he had his arms around him, pulling him back enough that he could not get to that ball. The fact that there was no penalty on that play is kind of crazy. I don't understand it. I was really upset. I knew the 49ers really, if they got the ball back, were not going to have a lot of time. They lined up for the punt with 11 seconds. The Ravens did from still their own 5, and they took the safety. Now, although this didn't matter in the grand scheme of things because it wouldn't have really changed the outcome of the game, in my opinion, there was a blatant hold. I mean, Ed Dixon held whoever it was. I don't even remember who the guy was. Culver, maybe. I don't remember who it was. But I mean, he held him around the waist and was pulling him back. I mean, it was the most blatant hold, and they showed it on the screen. The announcers didn't say anything. There's another Skip Bayless thing. He tweeted about it instantly, right after I tweeted about it. It was like 10 seconds in between, and he saw it. He's like the only other one that said anything about it that I follow. And that is the reason I'm making this video, is because I don't think refereeing needs to play that much of a part in the way games turn out, especially games like the Super Bowl. There should be ways to review things like that, and there should be a clear-cut rule for holding, pass interference, things like that, that isn't just subject to judgment. If a guy's arms are around somebody, completely around him, like giving him a hug, that is a hold. That should be reviewable in a game like that. It doesn't always have to be. But in a game like that, in a situation like that, in the playoffs, I don't know, take the referee's judgment out of it. It's ridiculous. Normally, I'm not one to say give more replays, but in this case, it's just gotten out of hand. There's two plays that were just so obvious that the referees didn't call. It's like, yeah, let them play, but there comes a point where letting them play and it being just a complete penalty, just a complete I couldn't even explain it to you how I felt about that. I was really upset at the referees. I'm not a 49ers fan, not a Ravens fan. I just am a fan of good football in a situation when it comes down to two teams I'm not biased for on either side. And just the referees screwed it up. We are complaining so much about the replacement refs in the beginning of the year. They did obviously a really bad job. That Seahawks and Packers game where Golden Tate came down with that ball and the referees. I mean that was just crazy. That was ridiculous. But this right here, in the situation that it was in, I think is even worse. Bring something out that can correct that. I don't understand. I was really upset about the way that game ended. Really upset about just the way the end of the game was handled. I feel like at least an opportunity for a win was taken away from the 49ers. They could have had first and goal at the 1. Not saying they would have gotten in because they didn't get in on the previous 3 plays either from the 5. But an opportunity for a win was taken away from them today. And I feel as though that's not fair to 49ers fans. It's not fair to football fans to see a game ended like that in the fashion that it was ended with the referees playing such a big role. That's all I got for you. Um, Sorry if that was kind of all over the place, but that's just how I feel about that game. I just think it was unfair and an opportunity was taken away from the 49ers. So, I mean, if you liked what I said, give this a like, subscribe. Um, but, thank you guys for watching. It's much appreciated, and I hope that you continue to watch.